Hi, everybody. I'm Josh.
And I'm KP. Welcome to the Nightly on Hatch Plus, where we want to hear from you. You can email us at thenightly@hatch.co. You could send questions, stories, voice memos, grievances. You could ask for advice. And again, that is thenightly@hatch.co. And you can email us truly whatever you desire. And later this episode, we are going to read you some of those listener questions. But first, Josh, how are you?
You know, I'm doing really well. I'm feeling really good today.
Wow, brag.
Yeah, I was out of town for a bit, and it was like really pleasant. We were staying at like an Airbnb that was significantly bigger than our apartment.
Yeah,
so that was
great,
really
real
fun.
Vacation.
Yeah, our dog like didn't know what to do with herself, and
It's like, we're moving up.
yeah, she was like, whoa, this is like the outside, inside, and only peed once, which is great. On the inside. Peed plenty of times on the outside.
Yes.
And so it was a really nice week away, but now I'm like also relieved. I don't know if you're like this at all, but I'm a person who's like, even when a trip is so nice and like relaxing, like there was some work stuff, but mostly hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm so relieved to get back into my routine and just like whittle down my inbox to a manageable number of emails.
Yeah.
How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like I have maybe 2 ultra productive days a month.
Okay.
Which is not a great.
I don't know. I think ultra is impressive.
Okay, good. I really just kind of get something extra special as a sip, and I just really get my emails down, like you said, go to the coffee shop for a second for a change of scenery. And today was one of those productives. So I've bought myself 2 weeks of chilling until the next one.
That's incredible. What a great feeling.
Yeah, I just binge work.
I love that feeling of like swatting away all the tasks, like getting stuff done. And then like all those like, okay, I did my part, back to you. And I'm just going to like kick my heels up until you respond to my response.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope they take a while. I don't want to have it back on my plate too soon.
Don't reply quickly. Like,
no.
I look forward to hearing from you soon, but not too soon. Best.
No, I want to be a different person by the time you remember.
That's right.
So that was my productive day. And then I had a fun weekend. I finished out some birthday celebrations.
Happy birthday.
I took the whole month. Thank you. Took the whole month to plan a small party. Finally got one down.
Important.
I just did a nice karaoke, got to experiment with some new songs I've been wondering about.
What did you sing?
I did some Panic at the Disco, Better If You Do, a little bit of a cut. And then I did Shakira, Wherever, Whenever.
Oh, that's huge.
That went great.
I bet people flipped for that.
Yeah, that's going to be added to my core rotation now, I think.
Oh, I love that. I think on your birthday, you get to do a deep cut if you want. You don't have to worry about pleasing the room. You can suit your own tastes.
That's what I was hoping for with Panic at the Disco. I said, not everyone's going to know the non-radio hits.
Yeah.
But it's important to me.
I just know the big ones. I know the
Sins Not Tragedies.
Yep. And then the what was the one? The Pete Buttigieg one.
Oh gosh, High Hopes.
That's the one.
That's so wild that now that's what that song is.
It's so funny.
Buttigieg
I mean,
song.
like, he transformed it. It became his own thing.
And he wasn't even in that video. It was just his little interns, right?
It was his interns, but it was his campaign. Yeah.
So, Josh, I'd love to keep talking about all things Panic at the Disco.
Sure.
But I want to hear from even more iconic people, which is our listeners.
Icons, each and every one.
And not a dud in sight. So we have some questions from our listeners tonight who are seeking advice. So, Josh, how do you feel about me reading one and we try and answer that together?
I love this idea, and I can't wait to hear what our listeners have to say.
Okay, so this is from a listener named Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
2 of my close friends, this is what Ben says, 2 of my close friends in med school recently hooked up, and now things are really tense between them. We're all in the same friend group, see each other daily, so it's getting awkward fast. How do I handle this without picking sides or making things worse?
Ooh, this is a delicate one, I think.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any ideas off the top, KP?
Well, this question comes at a really interesting time for me because I'm rewatching 2 shows at once right now.
Okay.
Which is Scrubs and House.
Oh, sure.
2 medical shows.
Yeah. You've got a real salty sweet of the medical genre.
Yes. And there's quite a few interpersonal hookups in these shows in med school. I mean, I don't think I'm learning much about healthy relationships from either, to be honest.
JD, Turk, grow up.
Yeah,
Tell us what's going on. Elliot, right? That was the third in their cohort.
Elliot, Sarah Chalk, yep. Okay, I guess I would say this is just kind of one of those things that has to run a bit of its course. Sometimes this is going to happen in any friend group where you're like, oh, that's odd that these 2 found their way into each other. That's making us all have to adjust. And then one of 2 things is going to happen. It's going to not work out. And then you'll have to adjust one more time. You'll probably will have to be like, who's handling this in the way that makes the most sense for me? Or this happened in my friend group maybe 8 years ago. It was mutual friends started hooking up and we were like, this is kind of devastating to all the rest of us. And here's what I'll say. They've been married 8 years now.
Wow.
Now it's beautiful. So it's like, you sometimes just got to get over that little adjustment and then you're going to see a really beautiful thing or some growth. Growth is hard. This could be growth in one direction or the other. That's my advice. What do you think, Josh?
I think that's a really good idea about like being patient and not thinking temporary social awkwardness is going to be like a new normal for a for a friend group. I think that's like a really wise way to start. And that's also, I think, kind of what happened in medical drama Dr. Odyssey, which I've brought up on the show before, where a doctor and I believe 2 nurses. So the doctor is Joshua Jackson, Pacey from Dawson's Creek, and the 2 nurses and the doctor have a threesome. And then they kind of have to sort it out after that. And they have some hard conversations, but ultimately I think they get to a good place. However, I do think because these are both close friends, it's okay to talk to them both, right? And to kind of say like, hey, I'm not here to like judge what your relationship with this person is. I just want to know going forward that like, I just want to make sure we maintain a healthy group dynamic together. Yes. So like whatever you 2 are dealing with, that's okay. And like, that's natural. But I just want to make sure that like we all are good as friends. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes people don't know they're being weird, if that makes sense.
100%.
Like 2 people hook up and everyone else in the group gets this like immediate shift in energy and they're like, we're playing it so cool.
The side picking doesn't have to be, oh, I allow anything to be said about the other person. Like you're allowed to set a boundary of like, hey, I think it's fine that you guys hook up or continue to hook up or used to hook up and now you're mad. I don't really want to hear negative comments about my friend because I like them too. Like you're allowed to say that. You can be like, I'm taking myself a little out of this because this stresses me out. Feel free to be like, hey, I'm not really going to be the best sounding board on this topic because I don't really know what you should do.
Totally.
That's fine.
Right. Like saying that you don't feel equipped to pick a side, but still being there for both people, I think is like extremely reasonable. And it sounds like that it is like a little off kilter, right? Like it's not like, oh, one person behaved terribly and now we have to shun that person. It's like, oh, a couple people hooked up and now we have to let it go. And I think like in the crucible of school, right, where you're all working really hard together and spending a ton of time together, this feels so enormous that 2 people hooked up and now it's awkward. But like in the grand scheme of 6 months from now, like you were saying, KP, about like those friends could get married or they could never talk again and it will be okay.
Exactly. And I also think you could use the med school of it all to maybe get some fun stuff going on. Like maybe there's a psychiatry student with you guys. You could trap your 2 friends in a room with that student.
That's right.
You could sort of like maybe get a patient to fake a code and then meet cute them back together.
Oh, that's really nice.
Meet at the defibrillators. Something fun.
One on each of their chests.
Clear. And then they sort of, they meet, their heads meet right in the middle.
And just kind of reset the vibe.
Yeah. I think I've seen enough medical dramas. They're hooking up left and right. I'm quite frankly shocked that you didn't think this was coming.
I don't think there's ever been a medical TV show where people aren't hooking up within the hospital.
I mean, The Pit, That new one? I don't think anybody, well, there was a former relationship, I guess.
That's fair. But I feel like season 2,
but there's tension.
There's only so long you can keep these folks apart in that pressure cooker.
Exactly. There was real chemistry being flown, and that's enough.
Yeah. A slow burn, but it's still burning.
And it's funny to call it a slow burn when it was 12 hours.
I know.
Of a shift.
Right.
But it was slow to us because it was 12 episodes. So this will be a blip at some point. Either a good blip, a bad blip, or a blip that just happens. You got to decide, am I going to be around for all of the twists and turns, or am I going to take myself out of some of them?
Yeah. You will be okay. And as long as you are a good friend to your friends, you will be friends. No matter what happens between the two of them. You know, I think like what your job here is to be the best friend to your friends that you feel comfortable being. And you don't have to fix the group dynamic, especially not like now.
No. I think that's great. That one I'm going to consider advice given.
Problem solved. Ben, we want to hear from you right back later if you feel like things have smoothed over. Or honestly, if our advice was bad and things really blew up in everybody's face, we need to know that too so we can course correct in the future.
Or if you feel like pulling a Dr. Odyssey and getting yourself in the middle of those two.
That's right.
That could be fun.
It could be exciting.
Okay, Josh, I have another question from an iconic listener named Rebel, shall we?
Bring it on.
And the question is, should I get another dog? My husband and I both have dogs. They're very spoiled. However, we have been debating the idea of getting another pup. Things to know. We cook their food ourselves from scratch. So if we were to add another dog, our cooking time would go from 6 hours a month to about 10 hours a month. And that's a lot of time. However, have you seen a puppy? Why wouldn't I want one more?
I'll tell you what. Let's start here. I have seen a puppy.
I've seen a puppy.
I get it.
Yeah.
6 hours a month cooking dog food from scratch is a lot. And 10 hours a month is so much.
I believe her math because I don't know much about the world of cooking your own dog food. But it does seem that one more pup, you should just be able to add a few more ingredients. I don't know that it would go up from 6 to 10.
Yeah, I mean,
because one more? What do you think?
It does seem like they really want this in their life. And if the only hiccup is how long it takes to prepare the food, I wonder if there is like a way to streamline that process, right? Like we're thinking about this as the binary of third dog or no third dog, but really we could be thinking like, is there a way to figure out this meal prep that is like a little more efficient and lets you have what you want without adding like a full half work day to your month?
It is a lot of time. I love how spoiled these dogs are, by the way. Rebel, you're an amazing owner.
Of course.
With your husband. I think pup is hard too because puppies, they require a lot of time in general.
Agreed.
I think a dog is a separate entity than a puppy. Puppies are really tough little guys.
I know. You've really got to be patient with them. So I agree with you, KP. I think that is a lot of work, but it either seems like they hadn't considered that, which is something for them to think about, or they have built that into the experience, you know?
That's what I'm thinking.
So,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And I think if it's 4 hours a month that you're worried about, there are ways to play with that around the margins or just add that into your life. Like there's almost nothing on that scale, right? Like of something I would bring into my life like a puppy where I'm like, I can't spare 4 hours a month for it.
Of course. No. And especially if these are spoiled, I think you're probably spending a lot of time on them because you love them so much, it sounds like. Now, my immediate instinct, because this is a question of, there's obviously like some amount of objectiveness we can talk about, but subjectively, I really like 2 dogs. I think 2 dogs is a clean number. 3, you start to get overpowered. The numbers aren't on your side anymore.
That's extremely fair.
So I wonder about that where it's, you know, you got to make sure that you're not getting into a farm territory where there's more animals than people. But that's a personal opinion of mine because I like to just kind of be like, oh, it's me and my little guy, buddy. one dog personally.
Totally.
You know, I have a friend that has 6 dogs.
Wow.
And it's a lot of Roombas. You got to buy another Roomba.
A lot of fur going on. I will say this too. I think this is something that always comes to mind when people are like in this zone of like, are we ready for another dog, whether it's going from 0 to 1 or 2 to 3? I do think the idea of fostering a puppy
Absolutely.
from a local shelter or something is always extremely in demand. And you can go a month, you know, with this little pup and have that puppy experience. And then if it's too much, then you can be done for a while. Or if you go, oh, you know what? We do want to have a puppy in the house. We love that. You can foster again. And so it's like a really good deed to do for others. And it doesn't lock you into that commitment of 10 hours a month of food preparation.
Very true. It's a great way to be like, oh, can my life flex around this? Let me do some trialing while it's also helpful. I fostered the one that I currently have, and I said, I'm bonding with this little guy. I got to keep him. He's my special guy.
That's so sweet. How long have you been together now?
About 1.5 years.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and he's my little guy, my little buddy. But he started as a foster where I was like, let me just see if we can adjust to a dog in the home. And we adjusted.
Oh, that's so good.
I think that's a great middle ground here, is to say, try a foster. There are some people that know they can't foster because they know that it's ultimately just going to end up in the adoption.
Right. You're just going to fall in love with any dog that comes into your home.
And that's a little where I knew I was. Everyone was like, make sure you're ready to actually have one if you're going to foster. And I said, I know what's up.
Yeah. Your heart was too open.
I knew that I love dogs too much. Anyone that enters that door is going to stay.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet though, to take on that process, knowing like, all right, whoever I get, we're going to be bonded. There's like a place in my home and my life and my heart for them.
Yeah. I'm going to say officially, my advice, which you might not want to hear, is stick with 2. I just think it's a nice 1 dog per person is real nice. And I do imagine when you go out of town, it's easier to be like, oh, can somebody watch 2 dogs versus 3? 3's a big number. So I'm going to say stick with the 2 or foster.
Yeah. The beautiful thing here is there's no rush to have a 3rd dog, right? It's like you can dog sit for a friend, you can foster, you can wait. There's no like, you're not like, my Biodogical clock is ticking, right? And like in 6 months or 5 years, I don't know that I'll even be able to have a dog. Like it is all based on what you want and when you want it. So I think if a 3rd dog doesn't feel like urgent, you know, then you can wait until it feels like, oh, you know what? We've got to do this. If you're on the fence and you already have 2 dogs, there's no rush to make this decision. So I think I would recommend trying to foster a puppy, and then at least you know what it's like to have a puppy in the house with these 2 other dogs, and you can go in or out with that extra information.
Yeah, I agree. Josh, are you more of a big dog or a little dog person?
I'm a little dog person.
Beautiful. No wrong answers there. I think they're both lovely.
I also love a big dog, but we have like, you know, not an enormous apartment.
Absolutely.
And so our dog is a pug. She's so lazy.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
She's like a weird little peanut, and she's like kind of an angel, except she hates the doorbell. The doorbell is her enemy, even though it signifies a person coming into the home, which is her favorite thing in the world. And she's like the mayor of our neighborhood. She just like walks by every person like, hello, great to see you. Hope I have your vote. And she's like a little tricky with other dogs. So we've got to work on that. But we've only had her about 4 months.
Oh, yeah. Mine was a little weird with other dogs too. And now dog park every day.
Oh, that's so good.
Well, Josh, all of this dog talk has me tired as a dog. I think it's time for a little cat nap. And if anyone listening wants to send in their questions, once again, you can email them to thenightly@hatch.co. But I'm getting sleepy. It is time for me to turn in.
Same here. What a nice talk, and so great hearing from our listeners. Good night, KP.
Good night, Josh.